journey as a social entrepreneur started about 10 years ago. I live in Marrakesh, Morocco, and one day I met a woman begging on the street. She was a single mother and she had two very small children. This was the only way that she could provide for her children. I got to know her a little bit, and one day I asked her, "How much money do you make when you're begging?" And she said about 20 or 30 dirhams, which is about $2 or $3. When I heard how small that amount was, I was really shocked. I think we all are conscious that there are people like this in the world and that this is a world problem, but we protect ourselves from this reality because it's overwhelming and because we don't really know what to do about it. But every now and then something pierces through the protection and pierces through the armor into our hearts. For me, it was that moment. And because of that, not doing something was not an option. I felt that I couldn't look away again once I had seen this problem and felt it in my heart. I started to fundraise for this woman and other women like her. And this lasted 5 years. At the end of 5 years, I was really disappointed in the experience because I felt that I hadn't made any lasting impact on their lives. The minute you take away the money and the funding, they're exactly where they are when they started. So my thinking began to shift, and I was like, I want to use more of my intellectual capacities to solve this problem. I founded an NGO. It's called Amal Center, and it is a training center for women from disadvantaged backgrounds in all of the restaurant skills. In its 4 years of existence, Amal has provided training for 130 women. For most of them, this is their first experience of learning and of being in a professional setting. And to make their training real life, Amal operates a simple restaurant. Every day, the students and their teachers serve meals to about 100 customers. The money then serves to fund the whole operation, and Amal is now financially independent. Amal consistently ranks in the top 3 restaurants in Marrakesh on TripAdvisor out of about 700 restaurants. Not because it's a 5-star Michelin restaurant, but because the people who eat there, they know that they're being part of something that is for the greater good. It's more than just the meal and the food. Amal, our mission is to empower women. So we hear this word empowerment, and what does it mean? What does empowerment mean? Because it will lose its value if we just throw it around like that, if we just use it as a buzzword. Empowerment starts with being seen. Now, in our society, there are many people who are invisible, and that may change depending on where you're from. What factors make people invisible? It might be skin color. It might be nationality. It might be disability. It might be age. People start to disappear and become invisible as they get older. In Morocco, poverty is what makes people invisible. The poor people are invisible. When we scan a room, we don't register them because we tend to ignore people that we perceive as less important than ourselves. It's kind of an automatic thing. We don't start out like that, but somehow our brains acquire this pattern. Why is being seen important? First of all, on the human level, whether you're privileged or underprivileged, all of us need this person in our lives who says, I see you, you have value, you have gifts, and you have something to give this world. kindness, and acknowledgement are basic currencies of human interaction. We should give them freely. On the societal level, being seen is important because when you're invisible to the people who have privilege and who have power, you become erased from the narrative. And decisions in society are made that don't serve your needs, and you don't benefit from the advantages that society should give you. Space creates visibility. And this is what Amal is. This is what Amal Center is. It's a dedicated space for these invisible women to come into existence and be honored for who they are. Earlier, Hussam spoke about this space where we are and its usage in the past by dictators for dictators. And look at what it's being used for now. Who is being visible in this space now? And the most empowering thing is learning new skills. And it's very exciting. And this is what we see in ML. When the women leave the training program, they have about 40 or 50 recipes that they know and they can work with anywhere. And they're valued for this. And they go and they get their first jobs, their first formal jobs. Maybe they've been working in the informal sector. They start to make money. They start to get their first paycheck, and that's empowerment. That's empowerment. They become agents of their own lives. We had a story about one of our graduates who went through our program, and she got her first job ever in her life. And with her first paycheck, 2,500 dirhams, which is about minimum wage in Morocco, what she did was she went and she bought some things that we needed in the kitchen at Amal. And she brought them to us and she said, I noticed that these things were missing and I'd like to contribute. And it was so beautiful because she was empowered, she was financially empowered, and she was giving back already. Thank you. When I first started Amal Center, I thought it would be a good idea to make some business cards, les cartes de visite. So I was thinking of a name that would convey, on one side, this is a social cause, come and help women. And on the other side, you can eat delicious food here, you can eat good food. So I came up with the perfect name. And my name was Amal Center for Culinary Arts in favor of marginalized women. Attendez, c'est pas la fin de l'histoire. So, I had one side printed in Arabic and one side printed in French, and I had 1,000 cards printed, and I brought them back, and I was so happy, and I showed them to the women. I said, here, we have our business cards. A little while later, they came and they said to me, Nora, please don't be offended, but we read the cards, and we don't like this word marginalized. None of us feel this way, and we don't want to be referred to this way. And I was stunned, honestly. I was stunned, and I was embarrassed, because I'd never thought to consult with these women that I was claiming to be an advocate for. I never asked them, what do you feel like you are? How do you want to be labeled or represented? It created this discussion around the word marginalized, marginalisé. In Arabic, it's even worse, muhammashat. It sounds horrible. So somebody else came and asked the women, said, let me ask you some questions. Have you had an education? No. Do you have Social Security? Nope. Do you have medical coverage? No. Do you have enough money to meet your basic needs? No. And she said, you are marginalized. You're not enjoying your full rights as a citizen, and that is the point of you being here, is to change that. So I thought a lot about this word, and what could we call the students at ML? In the end, I thought to myself, Yes, they've had these difficult lives. They've had situations that are more difficult than you or I will ever know or experience. But that's not what defines them. What defines them is their decision to come to Amal and change that. They're fighters. They're tough as nails. They're champions. So then we decided we would call our students Amal champions. And they loved that name. They love it. So yes, the theme of this TED is in motion, society in motion. And for a lot of us, it is. We're looking to the future. But what about the people for whom it's not? What do we do about them? The first thing that I would like to ask you is to retrain ourselves to see the invisible people in our societies. And this is an active thing. It's not a mental concept. It's saying hello to somebody that you normally wouldn't register. It's remembering people's faces that are maybe difficult for you to remember. It's learning people's names and caring about them. The second thing that we can do is to support the spaces that create visibility and empowerment. When I started ML, I didn't have any background in NGO work or in the restaurant business, and I didn't have any money. But I had faith, and I had this desire that my life be a life of service. Thank you.